Hello and welcome to the Blue Monday podcast covering all things Ipswich Town since 2015. My name is Mikey Smith, and this is a live Q&A show where you, the audience, set the agenda. And limbering up for his big golf match with me next Tuesday at Purdis.
Oh.
And joining me tonight is David Diamond. How are your preparations going for the big match?
Oh, mate, just terribly. When did I last play? I last played Saturday, and honestly, I think on the back nine, I don't think I've ever done it before. I managed to hit a fairway bunker, I think, on every single hole. A fairway and greenside bunker, mate. It was one of those, but there you go. Yeah, weren't hitting it too badly. I mean, you hit it obviously miles and are in a rich vein of form, as you just told me. So, yeah,
you're piling the pressure on, right? We've
I think
we got the golf chat out of the way. I hope Ben isn't watching live.
It'll be good. It's good. It's in great nick at the moment, so it'll be really good.
So let's say hello to some of the people watching. Charlie D. Charlie D's got a season ticket with us, as has FPL Tractor.
FPL's always, Charlie. Yeah, they're always about. Yeah, FPL said earlier today you'd be there.
And
hey,
Kirk, go on. You do that surname.
Di Giorgio? Yeah, Di Giorgio. That's
he remembered.
Yeah. Kirk Di Giorgio. Nice name. Great name. Not quite diamond, is it? But it's up there.
Pablo Canuga. Buenos noches. That's a great picture, that one, isn't it? That's that way. Let us know in the comments.
I can't see. Yeah, okay.
And Charlie D straight in. Thank you and goodbye to Lee O'Neill. Spinning multiple plates under Evans could not have been easy. So yeah, that comes. The news was announced today that Lee O'Neill is leaving at the end of this season.
Yeah.
He's been spread pretty thinly, hasn't he, Dave? I was amazed. He was first at the club in 2007.
Yeah, I mean, he was originally a youth player, wasn't he? A youth player, then I think didn't make the. Wasn't offered a pro contract. I assume at that stage went away to Loughborough, got his qualifications, obviously well qualified. And came back, I think, as initially like a part-time coach for the academy in 2007 under bloody hell, Magilton. Yeah. And has been with the club ever since. So great servant to the club. Obviously an Ipswich lad. His dad was a youth player, played in the 75 Youth Cup side alongside Osman and Johnny Walk and players like that. So it was a big Ipswich tradition in the family. And obviously as time went on, very much promoted through the ranks to, as you quite rightly said, 3 seasons ago now when Ian Milne left, he was blimey, he really was, as Charlie D said, spinning multiple plates, and he was academy manager, manager of football, general manager of football operations, and other titles as well. I'm sure he had. So
yeah, in your whole career, Dave, forgive me for pointing out that you're a little bit older than Lee O'Neill. Have you had as many job titles in your whole career as Lee O'Neill's had in his time at Ipswich?
I've had different job titles, but not whilst doing the one job, if you know what I mean. So I've changed job title over the years, but not whilst doing the one job. Oh my goodness me, incredible. And look, I think unfairly, you see certain comments about him. He comes in for some stick, and I think that's generally unfairly because, as you said, it was piled on him certainly after Milne left, and in the latter stages of the Marcus Evans reign, where we know that money was a tight dimension. That's a song. It was tough. So I think he comes out with credit, and obviously you would think that part of his his leaving has been, it was always going to be on the cards after the takeover, and he's just obviously stayed 12 months or more. Maybe that was contractual, I don't know. Well, a settling in period for the new ownership, for the new people coming in, people like Gary Probert and people like that, I guess.
It'll be interesting to know what he does next, because his LinkedIn account is going to be pretty busy, isn't it? At Ipswich Town.
Think so? I mean, he's certainly well qualified and still a relatively young man. So you'd think he would end up somewhere. And good luck to him.
Good luck indeed. So Pablo Canuga's got back to us. That's Pablo bagging a goal away at Gillingham.
Oh, okay,
Soggy
of
Gillingham.
course.
It's
Yeah, I've
more
got my glasses.
soggy.
I didn't get. I haven't got my readers on, so I couldn't get that close. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. That's yeah. I just love that celebration. Pablo celebration. Superb. Yeah. He was pretty animated, wasn't he? Always.
Very much so. Kirk says you're right.
There
Here you
you
go,
go.
Dave. Here's another one for you to do. I think
I'd
it's
say that's
Andres Christiansen.
Christiansen, I
He
would say,
says
certainly.
evening everyone. James Elmy, big hello from Rawns.
Rawns, Northamptonshire, yeah? Northampton, isn't it? Yeah.
Robert Hurren, evening lads.
I
How
think
are
we're
you
good.
both?
Think we're good. Still enjoying being in ninth for the time being. Although, obviously, by the time we play Saturday, I think Portsmouth are playing Friday, we could well be 10th, which I think is something to celebrate. Not being ninth anymore.
Brilliant. Yeah, Pablo Canuga says he's Adam from the Leveler chat. So
Okay.
that's
Adam
that's
Platt.
our Telegram
There you
page.
go.
We've got a few different chats going on there, and yeah, please do check out our Twitter page and our website for more details on how you can enjoy the chat. But it's going really well, isn't it, David? It's sort of replaced the fabled WhatsApp group, as you call it,
Mate, it's
and
busy.
it's very busy.
It is busy, and right through the day. I mean, I go on. There's no doubt you do Teams calls and stuff like that. And I'm, gone from my personal phone for an hour or so. I go back and there's 50 messages in the chat. What the hell? And this is like at 11:30 in the morning. So no, it's really good. The level of interest has been absolutely superb. So really, thanks to everybody for that.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, if you like notifications, you'll love the the level of chats. But it's
You'll
really
feel
good, really
loved. Yeah.
informative. There was some interesting stuff from we've got Oscar
Oh,
ITFC analytics on the
it's
group,
amazing.
and someone threw to him who are we going to sign, and I'm not going to give anything away, but he gave a pretty detailed.
I think you'd say that was forensic, wouldn't you? My goodness me, that was incredible. He'd obviously given that a lot of thought. So yeah, fair play to him. And it was to look through and we won't mention perhaps the players' names, but looking through, and it certainly made a lot of sense.
It did indeed. So just checking out the comments, and I think Charlie D's just going to try and set the agenda for the show in general tonight. He says Hladky heading to Scotland maybe.
Yeah.
He's been linked with Aberdeen. Apparently, there's not much in it. But what would you do, Dave, with the backup goalkeeper situation?
Yeah, I mean, Holy, I think, is out of contract this summer. I
believe so. Yeah,
think he
he's
might be.
currently on loan, warming the bench at Port
He's
Vale.
not even getting a game at Port Vale, is he? I mean, oh my God, he's got. I know someone perhaps said he's almost too tall, but he's got all the attributes, that guy, hasn't he? Goodness me. But it just hasn't happened. Yeah, I mean, I think Hladky previously played, I think, is Jim Goodwin, I think the Aberdeen manager. I think he previously played under him at St Mirren. And again, was up in, and there's no disrespect to football north of the border, would played very well up there, as he did, in a league below us last year, for goodness sake. So look, he's obviously a capable keeper. Someone made a really good point, I think, today on the chat today, that fair play, he was in the EFL Division 2 team of the year last year, but every match pretty much was played behind closed doors. So again, it is a possible factor. Funny enough, the last game he played was Wickham at home, which probably was his best game, actually.
Yeah, he did have a good game that night.
He played really well, I thought. So,
but is he too much because he was signed to be number one, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And,
so I think
there was a lot of interest. So do you think?
I know what you're saying. If they can recoup, if we can recoup some sort of fee, some sort of reasonable fee from him, then I wouldn't have thought we would stand in his way. Holy, I mean, for me, it'd be a case. Look, obviously Walton is a cast iron nailed on number one, in my opinion, the best goalkeeper we had in 10 seasons, probably since Neil Annick. Oh, sorry, obviously, let's put Bart to one side, but yeah, he's been absolutely superb. Yeah, I mean, I think if we get a decent enough, potentially a decent enough fee for Hladky, I wouldn't be surprised if he went. Holy, to my mind, he could be a capable number two, but will they want to? I'm not sure what sort of wage he's on. I wouldn't have thought. I don't know. Maybe I want to let him go, and perhaps,
doesn't he?
get a more experienced, perhaps an experienced number 2 in. A bit
Yeah,
like, again, someone touched on it earlier today. Again, is it really good in the chat? Like a Mike Salmon type signing to support Richard Wright, or who else do we get in around about that time? Keith
Lee
Brannigan, I
Bracey.
think. Lee Bracey, who never ever played. I think Lee Bracey was supposed to play. I think, or him or Lee Bracey was supposed to play, and then Wright made a dash back from England somewhere to play, sort of thing. So yeah, I would envisage something like that. Perhaps an experienced, perhaps Holy and Ladke both going in, experienced number 2 coming in.
Indeed, yeah. FPL Tracks says Ladke's wages will be tough to shift.
Yeah, good point again.
So it may end up being a loan to another League One club.
Yeah.
We'll see. There's a couple of shouts about Elkin Baggett. At this stage, Dave, now we are very, very much out of it rather than just out of it. Do you think, or especially with Burgess suspended,
definitely.
Is this an opportunity now for?
Pretty much at this stage, what is the alternative? Probably Thompson playing there, but he's not our player, so very much I'd go with Baggett. And I think, interestingly enough, he was pulled out of the under. I don't think he played for the 23s yesterday, did he? I don't think.
No.
So yeah, that would make perfect sense to me now. I see him. You see him warming up, and where I sit, I see him walking down the touchline. Big lad. He seems to have grown even more in the last sort of 6 months or so. So yeah, obviously he's highly rated. So yeah, I think I'd like to see him certainly get his opportunity. There's nothing to lose now, for goodness sake. Nothing at all.
No.
And still competitive, because Rotherham will still be a competitive game, because my goodness me, they're needing the points because they are dropping. Anyone in the top 6, their form is by far the worst at the moment.
It is indeed. Julian Took says I'd play Piggott the last few games as he's our player, and we might be looking to flog him. Is there an argument for playing
there's
Piggott?
probably something in that, but is he now totally shot? I don't know. I think I had this conversation on a Q&A with Joe the other day, and I think we had slightly different opinions, saying, yeah, okay, I think I'd give Piggott, and Joe was saying, yeah, but is he just completely shot? Is it going to do more harm than good? Would he be better having again coming off the bench again now if he gets the opportunity, and basically having a full pre-season under the new management? And he's probably got a point there.
Indeed, and let's start looking ahead to the summer now, because that's where our thoughts are now, really, aren't they, Dave?
Yeah.
At this stage, you just kind of want to get these games out of the way, get a couple of decent wins.
It's just a shame that, and of course, it's obviously a shame that we didn't hold on. I know we'd still been miles away, but we didn't hold on Saturday. It keeps a little bit more interest. And the next 2 games are nice, good competitive games. Rotherham live on Sky, Wigan under the lights. I mean, crikey, I remember the last game against Wigan under the lights, probably one of the best atmospheres down Portman Road in the last 20 seasons, for God's sake. Incredible, wasn't it? So
Darren Curry's full debut. That's why you remember it, Dave.
Yeah, well, I just remember that. Well, 2 things, obviously the Baines goal and the bent winner, which sort of seemed to just forever to drop under the crossbar. Unbelievable. But it's just a shame that they, the games probably for us will be dead, but certainly not for those 2.
No, absolutely not. We've definitely got a part to play, haven't we?
Yeah.
Tom Lane, I can see McKenna sticking with Norwood because he's playing for a new deal.
Yeah, he scored Saturday. I mean, I don't think, again, didn't miss chances Saturday. Again, Saturday was another one of those games, frustratingly, where we played so well the first half, absolutely bossing the game, second to every, picking up every second ball, just dynamic, quick, dynamic playing. We just didn't create, did we? Just tippy tappy again around the penalty area, nice, but other than the goal and I suppose the miss by Chaplin, they had the identical sort of in the identical position, but we no clear cut chances created at all. So I don't want to say that was necessarily Norwood's fault. So yeah, perhaps I can see that also on Saturday.
Indeed, and yeah, I teased that we were going to sort of move into talking about the summer here. So Kirk says, now we have invested in recruitment area, do you think we can look beyond other League One sides for a new striker / left back, etc., and go overseas?
Definitely
would fit better with McKenna's modern approach to coaching, but there is the B word, isn't there, Dave?
The B word.
Brexit.
Oh Christ, yeah. Sorry. I'll try with my job. I'm trying literally. I had 2 years of that leading up to it, so I'm always conveniently forgotten about that or trying to forget about it. Yeah, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be really difficult. Maybe from the States, with the with the Phoenix connections there.
Yeah.
I know that's been talked about also. So maybe we might see some perhaps younger players coming from there. But yeah, as for Europe, yeah, it's just difficult now.
Yeah. Red tape.
Red bureaucracy, compliance.
And Andreas says he wouldn't mind Norwood for another season.
Look,
He's looking
Andreas,
trim, isn't he? I mean, it's self-promotion on his Instagram, but
there
he
was a
is
really
looking
interesting,
trim.
and I don't think it was. I don't think the picture was. Was enhanced or anything at all. But the difference of they had him last season and him this season. My
Yeah, that
goodness
was
me, it's
him
a
that posted
marked,
it.
an absolute. Sorry,
It was him that posted it.
it was him. What a
Yeah.
mark! Sorry, I didn't notice that. What a marked
Mm.
difference that is. Just
Yeah.
incredible.
Well,
Absolutely incredible. Looks like
he
he shed about a stone, for Christ's
yeah,
sake.
but he said that last year he was doing loads of gym work, and this year he isn't.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I
So
think
it's just
that's kind of his way to sort of say, look, I wasn't
yeah, it's smart.
overweight.
It's smarter. It's smarter now, isn't it? Yeah, it's
Mm.
yeah, I mean, great to see. And look, if every time, he's a funny one, Norgs. Every time he kind of write him off, he'll get back and have a start, and he'll score a goal.
Yeah.
So yeah, at this level, he's going to score goals at this level. Yeah, whether the manager completely fancies him for next season or not, who knows? I don't know. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he started again Saturday.
No, FPL Tractor though he thinks will upgrade on Norwood. I think he's on decent wages,
I think
James
he
Norwood,
is.
so he's not going
Yeah.
to settle for anything less than what he's on
No, he
probably.
isn't.
And would we offer him more than he's probably out there looking for one final
And there's
2
been
or
all
3 year
sorts.
deal, isn't he?
It's been all sorts bandied about. Again, on our chat, we've seen sort of quiet rumours about our transfer record could be smashed. Well, you'd think that's going to be unlikely, isn't it? At League
Hmm.
One, really? But
Yeah, so that rumor, Dave, just chucking it out there, is that we're going to break our transfer record, which I believe was for Matteo Serini back
at
in
4.4, something like that, was it?
something like
Something like
4.4
that.
million.
Yeah.
That 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 transfer obviously worked out really well for us. Um,
No.
but yeah, I think it would maybe even be a League One record as well if we
It's going
did
to be
that. But
close. I mean,
you're poo-pooing that one, Dave?
I think so, don't you? I think so. But look, if we're going to if they're saying they're going to get an upgrade on a Norwood or something like that, maybe that is got. I'm not saying Norwood would fetch anything like that in this, at this moment in time, but you probably have got if you're going to, so if you're talking 4.5 million, let's say 4.5 million, you ain't going to be shopping in League One for that, are you? Who are we going to sign for 4.5 million in League One? Although nothing would surprise me these days. So you're going to be looking at least bottom half Championship, aren't you?
Yeah. And then even then, it seems weird, doesn't it?
Well, it's
Because
a
if a
weird one,
player's
but you
worth
look
that,
at it.
why would they sell unless they really had to?
True, but
But
then
then if you
then you
really
look
had
at
to,
it.
you could probably
People
get them cheaper.
look at the club now, and the club is on the up. The foundations are there again. They see people can see what's going on the field. They look at Ipswich and see we're averaging, I don't know, since McKenna's been in 23,000. I mean, it could well, and look, the finance is obviously there as well, so it could well be an attractive proposition in a similar way to, I know, someone like Mullin and people like that dropping out of the Football League to go and play for a National League side. So
Yeah.
it does happen, but
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, crikey, how exciting would that be? But yeah, I think unlikely.
Unlikely. This is maybe harsh but fair from Norman Greenwald. McKenna
Yeah,
wants young, athletic, and technical
yeah.
players. Norwood is none of them. I think he's
But
fairly
he's a goal. But
athletic.
Norman,
But
he's a goal scorer, mate. He's a goal
yeah.
scorer. That's for sure.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Charlie D says they'll have targets eyed up already. Ashton will want to do business early.
yeah. I'd hope so.
That's
Yeah.
what. But there's always something that happens that means that we can't get stuff done early, isn't there? But
I mean, I can't believe how we got some of the signings so early last year, really. And then obviously, we had 19 signings and it went all the way to the August transfer window. But when you think about it, last year we got some quite high pro Burns and Piggott yeah, Burns and Piggott came in really quite early, didn't they? I'm fairly sure they did.
Yeah, Burns was in really early.
Yeah, almost the season finished and almost seemed we just played Fleetwood and he was in. So yeah, it's yeah. Look, it's I think I saw somewhere that probably if you look at the squad, there could well be something like maybe 7 or 8 out and maybe 6 or 7 in. So yeah, that would be a more manageable, sensible type, close season business, wouldn't it? Really.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, one thing, just going back to James Norwood, Dave, you just only have to mention his name, and everyone's got an opinion on him because
No, absolutely.
he's an interesting character, and it's a strange career that he's had at Ipswich, where
It
I
really
think
is.
I think most people are in agreement that he's a very effective League One striker.
Well, when you think the season, the curtailed season, so 1920, I mean, he started off really on fire, didn't he? Him and Jackson, those early games were really good. I remember seeing them play. Okay, Southend, all right, got really, but I think you were there that day, and they were really good as a pair. They really looked
they
the
were.
part.
Yeah.
That obviously season were curtailed, and yeah, I mean, he's a character, isn't he? He is an absolute character, and he's one of these players that makes things happen. Whether by he'll score a goal, inevitably he'll put one on the opposition defender. But I don't mind that. He's got fire. He's got passion. You can never say he doesn't. He's a trier. He's not a lazy player. Never seems to let his head drop either. He'll keep going. Norwood. He's got I think a pretty good mental approach as well. Strong mentally as well. But yeah, look, well, either way, it's an odd one there. Wouldn't surprise me if he goes. Wouldn't surprise me if he stays.
Okay. Brings me on to this one then. Simon Harris, will Norwood get 20 next season? Unlikely with the system under McKenna, but we wouldn't be that surprised to see him get 20 goals elsewhere.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Tom Lane says, I think Norwood will stay for another year unless Wrexham get promoted. Him and Mullins together in League Two.
Mate, innit? Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yeah, good point.
Wrexham they've got to keep ahead of Chesterfield, haven't they? That's the thing.
Yeah.
Simon Harris says, Will Keane and Drynan back at Town. There we go.
I think the majority would take Will Keane back in a heartbeat. I think. Not quite sure about Aaron Drynan, but certainly Will Keane. I think. Again, injury-free, pretty much an injury-free season. And see the result there.
FPL tracks Jackson and 2 others with Simpson or Piggott being 4th choice. Yeah, Piggott. If we can't shift him, I'd agree with that because surely he's not going to want to be. He's not going to want to be 4th choice, and just on the 4.5 million, we'd surely be getting in a promising young striker in the Prem, but I don't see it.
Yeah, no.
And if you've got financial backing, it's easier to do your business early as you're nearer the top of the food chain. It is less worrying, isn't it? The transfer window now that we do have this decent backing. It's just going to be a case of can we keep hold of the
under the previous owner. I mean, it was just a joke, really, wasn't it? But now, yeah, it's a lot more serious, and I think a lot more. Not to ride the previous ownership and management too much, but I think there's a lot more due diligence done and run, and that's the Ashton, very much the Mark Ashton model, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, very much so. They're chalk and cheese, really, aren't they? In their approach. It could hardly be more different. As
not really,
as blokes and the way that they're choosing to run this football club. So yeah, I think we're at a good stage, Dave, to say please hit like if you're watching on YouTube. And I can do a couple of plugs as well. There'll be a pre-match show ahead of Saturday's early game at Rotherham. I think Rich is going to be looking after that one. So yeah, this is the 12:30 game on Saturday. Don't go up to Rotherham on Good Friday. Will you be having hot cross buns Friday, Dave?
Hot cross buns potentially. Yeah. My youngest is actually going up. He's going up tomorrow because it was obviously the match was supposed to be on Friday, so he's going up with a pal. I think they're going out with some pals in Nottingham, staying in Nottingham, and then going up. It's only like barely an hour from Nottingham up to Rotherham. So yeah, I think he's quite looking forward to a bit of a road trip. Well, they're not road trip; they're going on a train actually. So yeah, he's going up with his couple of pals tomorrow. So he's looking forward to it.
That'll be good, and you'll be joining Rich for a mini flagship show to review that one.
Yeah, I think on bright and early Sunday morning. Yeah, recording.
Sunday morning, and Ben will be hosting a post-match show after Wigan next week with Seb, and it says Joe Fairs. So I imagine that this will be one that's done retrospectively. It will be on Wednesday rather than straight after the game on Tuesday.
I would have thought so. Yeah, evening. Yeah, I would have thought so.
And of course, it's not the only Blue Monday action on Tuesday, though, is it, Dave?
It isn't, mate. Not at all. No, no.
We're going to plug our golf match again.
Me and you, yeah. Me and you golfing, of course. Yeah,
straight
absolutely.
up
Yeah.
match play.
Yeah. Match play. Yeah. I think Mikey's going to give me about at least 4 or 5 shots, probably in age. I think you work that back count back on age.
I've never played at Purdis, and
have you not?
No, home knowledge does count for a lot, doesn't it?
Blimey. Yeah. Bring your secretaires with you. Bring your secretaires and your shares with you. You'll be all right. No,
Yeah,
it's no, they'll be good. Really looking forward to it. Actually, yeah. Got Tuesday long weekend, so yeah, that'll be really nice. And enjoy the golf at the weekend. The Masters, brilliant, wasn't it?
Yeah, fantastic stuff, especially McIlroy's round and Morikawa and all of that, and Scheffler 4-putting to win the Masters. But yeah, we probably should. We'll park the golf again. And
we better.
In the comments, let us know who you've got your money on between me and Dave next Tuesday at Purdis. I've got a bit of youth and maybe distance off the tee on my side, but Dave knows the contours of all the greens and everything.
Wily campaigner. Yeah.
So let's just jump back into Norwood, shall we? Charlie D. We'll look back on him as a bit of a cult fan favourite. I don't know. To me, he feels like one that's going to come back and get booed, score, and cup his ear in front of the North.
Yeah, Norwood divides opinion, doesn't he? He really does. Yeah, like I said, I haven't got an opinion either way on Norwood. If he goes, fine. If he stays, I'm not disappointed, really.
Yeah, I'd go along with that as well. Julian, we've not had a settled front line for what seems forever. I think it definitely feels that way. You've mentioned Norwood and Jackson in that curtailed season, 1920.
That was probably the last one.
That was probably the last one. But I think for McKenna, I think it is. I mean, it's partly horses for courses, but also partly him trying to work out his best hand, isn't it?
Yeah, look, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Tyrese Simpson, isn't it? I think at the moment I haven't heard anything to the contrary, but he's still embroiled in. I don't think they're embroiled in talks. I think there's been talks. I think there's a contract there waiting for him to sign, and basically he hasn't signed it yet. Whether you would assume that's following advice from his agent, we don't know that, but it'll be interesting to see how that develops, because obviously he's young, a lot of raw potential there. We see he can certainly handle himself physically at League Two level and score goals as well. So yeah, I'd look. He's out. Obviously our player came through our academy. You'd like to think that contract can be sorted out, and and he'd be you'd think a viable option, another option for next season for sure.
Yeah,
be interesting to see.
Fingers crossed.
If he gets any time between now and the end of the season suddenly, because he hasn't even appeared on the bench, I don't think, has he, since he's come back from Swindon? I don't think so.
No involvement.
So yeah. That will give us, suddenly, I guess, if he appears on the bench, then you'll know that, okay, perhaps the contract is almost there, or just, or is complete, just subject to being announced, sort of thing. So, yeah, be interesting to see what happens there.
It will be interesting. I mean, where do you see him going?
Back to Swindon?
But Swindon are going to be in League Two next season.
Yeah. Well, I think so. Yeah,
and will they be able to afford his?
I don't know.
Wages,
I don't know.
He's got an agent, and
he's got an agent. You'd think, and no, I mean, you'd think he'd end up, perhaps, if not Swindon, you'd be comfortably. You'd think in a sort of League One side. Maybe so. Maybe you look at a side like, for instance, Cambridge. Say Ironside moves on. I'd take a punt on him. I quite liked him. I mean, I wouldn't be sure how he's played over the season, but what I saw him at Portman Road, I thought he was excellent. A team like Cambridge would take a punt on someone like that, but you'd be disappointed if you lost a player like that to Cambridge. So look, let's hope it can be sorted out, because it's, like I said, a lot of raw potential there.
Indeed, it feels like a lot of this shows. It's been about 50% golf and maybe 40% Norwood. Paul Van Duren. I'm not going to get you to read this out in your Dutch accent, Dave. I'll just read it out. Don't think Norwood fits the profile of McKenna's preferred type of athlete, but also confident McKenna is someone who understands you have to play players to their strengths. So Norwood can be useful. That's kind of what we're saying, isn't it? If McKenna really does like this horses for courses approach to his forward line,
you'd want
Norwood's a hell of a player to have, especially as we probably won't have Macaulay Bonne.
No, I think you're quite right, and I think Norwood is probably the most adaptable out of the out of those front players we have at the moment that can play both roles. He can perhaps play the wide role off the defender's shoulder, but also play that role down the middle also.
Tom Lane, Milton Keynes, Dons, and Plymouth are proof you don't need to spend loads of money to be successful. They're two well coached teams, aren't they? And
well coached teams, fairly settled squads. You got to you got to think. I mean, MK had done brilliantly. They lost pretty much the central midfield, Fraser, and obviously O'Reilly, who subsequently appears to have been maybe the better of the two players. I saw him notching a couple for Celtic up at the weekend. Yeah, they've done fantastically well, and I mean Liam Manning. I'm surely if they get promoted as a shoe-in for manager of the season, you think, and Plymouth, under Schumacher, they obviously lost Ryan Lowe and absolutely done superbly well to stay in there, because I thought that really they were one of the teams that would certainly drop out even after they beat us back in October. I thought, I can't really see them lasting the course. And again, one of those games that I didn't go, but you look at the highlights of the game and all the feedback of people were there. Again, another game we should have probably won, sort of thing. I honestly thought Plymouth would have been one of the sides who had dropped out, but no, fair play, they've stayed the
recovered
course
well, haven't they?
Yeah, really. Yeah. I mean, 6 on. I mean, we just haven't had no near a run like that. 6 on the spin until we beat them. Just it shows where that gets you.
Absolutely. For FPL tracks, I really hope the Simpson stuff is sort of definite potential there. Looks like he could do the role we currently have up front.
Yeah, I definitely think that. Yeah, let's hope so.
Michael Warner says Peterborough signed Simpson in hope to sell him on a profit. Yeah,
they're quite good at that. Yeah. Well, there's a player someone mentioned of obviously Clark. Peterborough dropping out. Clark Harris. Blimey, I'd take him in a shot, wouldn't you? Think he might.
Yeah, Johnson Clark Harris. Yeah, that would be a hell of a sign.
I mean, that might well be the 4.5 million probably, but I'd certainly I mean, he was sort of highly sought after when he left Bristol Rovers. Obviously carried that on last year, and I think he has obviously a very much struggling Peterborough side. He's also scored goals in the champ this year, so yeah, you'd think he might well be onto bigger and better things. No disrespect to Posh.
Yeah. Permission from Paul Van Duren, Dave. Dutch accent approved. Because I have one.
Kosh, I have one. Yeah, yeah. No, I'll leave Steve McLaren to. Who used to do? Oh, bless Stat. Stat used to do a great Steve McLaren. Stat used to have him fit doing a Steve McLaren. It was awful, dreadful, but good fun though. Good fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, this week in ITFC history. Podcasts still out there, aren't they?
Oh yeah, there's several out there still. Yeah. We're still waiting for a mascot to put their hand up. Obviously not yourself. We know all about you, Mikey, but one of the ones we identified in the program that the 70s, 80s programs back in the day that named the mascot and gave his full address. We're still waiting for that, but no one has owned up yet.
And is it harsh? Speaking of funny accents, Bits is here. Hi everyone.
What a star. Dear.
Mark Wall says the only striker I'd keep is Bon in the summer clear out the rest and start again. It's strange that we haven't seen more of Bon the last few weeks, isn't it? Do you feel like a decision might have
you can only sort of go by, I guess, what he sees in training. Again, it's Bon. It's his confidence shot. Okay, we had those glaring misses, the one against Cheltenham, for example. But, after that, he went on a great scoring run. Again, when he has played, you can't really remember him missing hatfuls of chances because the chance creation level's been so low, hasn't it? The big chances, really.
Yeah.
That's a big shout. I mean, look, prior to Christmas or up to November, you'd have thought, Christ, when can we sign him? God, we've got to sign him. And if he's, the worry was, my God, he's going to score 20-odd goals and he's going to be worth like 3 million or something, and that's it. We've lost him. But the jury's, I'd say, probably the overall consensus of opinion of people. I think people in our chat and people I speak to is that probably wouldn't sign him now. Which is
he was awesome when he came on at Oxford. I don't think he started a game since.
He was brilliant, wasn't he? Absolutely, everything in the air. His hold-up play was superb. All right, bless Joe Piggott. He didn't really have to improve on much because Pigott, probably his worst game. It was a bit of a horror show for him. Nothing was sticking. His first touch was awful. But you're right. When Bond came on, he held the ball up. He won everything in the air. He was bringing players into play. Desperately tried to run offside for the Selena goal, but managed to stay onside. He's so look. I would be surprised if he was the only striker. I'd be very surprised if that was the case. I think you'd agree with that, wouldn't you? Now,
yeah, definitely. So Bits has I'd say he's rewarded my bad behaviour.
Oh no.
£8.99.
Hang on.
Just had a really good rack of ribs.
Kieran, I'll tell my boy. Where's that? Hooters? No, I won't tell my boy. That is fantastic. What a night. That's a dream night, isn't it? Goodness Lord.
Oh, I've just realised the rest of that. The rest of that message from Bits.
Quick, get rid of that.
But yeah, the £8.99 is very much appreciated.
Oh, was that? I thought that's what he spent on ribs. Oh, that was a donation. Oh, what a star! Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, Michael Warner watching in.
No, we don't. He's in Oz, isn't he? He's in Oz somewhere, Michael,
Brisbane.
isn't he?
Yeah,
Brisbane. Isn't he?
He asked a good question about Morsi. Do you think he gets booked a lot because he's about the only one that can tackle in midfield? What I would say up against this is that he also got booked a lot for Middlesbrough and Wigan.
Yeah, I mean, I only one of tackles. I disagree with that. I think Backinson tackles. I mean, I think we covered this on the show before. Sorry, I know we're supposed to be talking about Morsi, but when Backinson plays alongside him, Backinson seems to have to put in a lot of tackles because inevitably he loses possession. But he's got, I think I said this before, he's got this uncanny knack to almost win the ball back straight away. He's quite long-legged, rangy, isn't he? He's got that long stride and just gets a foot in and stuff. But yeah, I mean, that's just the way Morsi plays. He doesn't hold back, does he? He's fully committed. I think he's just an absolute great captain as he drives the team on. And my goodness me, when he's not playing, you really notice it. And it's really great to see him now. It's great to see him adding in recent weeks, adding that, last 6-7 games, adding that new dimension to his game and making those runs into the box and getting on the end of things. Yeah, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, if he can add a few more goals to him.
Cool. I think he will. I honestly think he will. Yeah.
And he's one as well that if and when we do get promoted, you'll be looking at him as a player that can still dominate midfielders in the Championship.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm really surprised we got him, to be fair. Seeing the standard he played, seeing the standard of the guy and the levels he set and the as I say, the general consistency of him.
Well, we've got a lot to be thankful to Neil Warnock for, haven't we, Dave? And that's maybe his parting gift to Ipswich Town is him wanting to sell.
Yeah, we should. I think it's a good thing. We should give O'Neill, because I mean, again, he's very much a Marmite. Neil Warnock. I personally love the guy. I think he's great football. Love listening to him on TalkSport. Says it as he is. Loves his stories. Brilliant. And good. I think a bit of acknowledgement that he's finally retired at 72, something like that. Is he something like that?
Has he though? Because
I agree.
Roy Hodgson retired last year.
He's had more comebacks than Frank Sinatra, hasn't he? Yeah. But we'll see.
Just going back to Morsi, Charlie D, we need cover for Morsi next season. He'll sit out games again, and we missed him so much this time around. He's not someone that you can replace, but do you think we'll be in the market, Dave, for another sort of box-to-box midfielder, or maybe
I would have thought so.
Midfielder?
Yeah, I think I had this conversation with Joe before, and I don't think there's anyone too similar to him coming through. I don't think Cameron Humphreys quite fits that role. I think he's very much a ball playing midfield player. So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I would like, from what I've seen in recent games and recent weeks, I'd certainly like to see Backinson sign. I think he's certainly worth a punt. He's grown on me. Wasn't sure about him when I saw him, when I saw some of his earlier games, but I think I think he grew into the game at MK away. He had a really good game, I thought, and I think he's probably he wouldn't be surprised at all if we signed him, and certainly wouldn't be disappointed if we signed him. But again, Morsi, a player of Morsi's level of consistency and level at League One it's irreplaceable. Crikey, yeah.
Yeah, he's a hell of a player, and one that
Oh,
yeah,
never
you
gives
just
the ball
enjoy
away.
watching. Not just he's a good player, and he's box to box. He
He's
wins
clever.
tackles, but he's also quite nasty as well, isn't
Oh,
he? And
I love him.
he
Everything about him.
the
Clever.
dark arts. That,
Clever on the ball.
mm,
Manipulates the ball well. Drops his shoulder. He's got a trick. Yeah, fantastic. I mean, well, thankfully I have. Egypt must have a hell of a squad, for goodness sake. Thankfully they
yeah,
have.
yeah,
Crikey.
that's a slight worry, isn't it? That
Well, it is.
the
Yeah,
World
it
Cup,
is.
the World Cup is in the middle of the League One season, isn't it?
Yeah, although
So,
they didn't qualify, didn't they?
oh yeah, of course. Yeah,
Senegal, wasn't it?
yeah,
Yeah,
quite right.
fortunately.
Yeah, with
Yeah,
all the laser pens.
yeah,
Tom Lane, I think it's clear we'll be looking for improvements alongside Morsi
yeah.
at left wing back and up front. But I think improving the positions behind the striker will be important as well.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. I mean, obviously left wing back at the moment in is Thompson. I think he's got time left on his Brentford contract, I think, hasn't he? And you'd think from a Brentford and the players' point of view, it's been good for him at Ipswich. He's had a lot of game time, hasn't he? For goodness sake, I'm not saying he won't continue to do so till the end of his loan, but I can't see us getting him. So yeah, I think probably certainly a left wing back is a priority, and yeah, certainly, obviously, we realise that up front.
Yeah, definitely. And you're not fancying Thompson anymore.
Oh no, I'm not saying I don't fancy him. I just don't think we'll sign him. I don't think
Okay.
we'll. I don't think
Yeah.
he's a permanent signing for us. No, again, I think he's one that's sort of grown into it. I think perhaps last Saturday maybe lost his. Well, no, sorry, the Cambridge game lost his head a little bit. I think.
Mm.
But from now until the end of the season, yeah, we hope Baggett plays, but it still wouldn't surprise me if we saw him at left centre back, just because keeps that natural right left position there, and I think he's probably got the physicality to probably play there. But yeah, we'll see. But he's not one I don't expect we'll sign him. And honestly think, given that I think McKenna likes. He just hasn't. He's quite odd, isn't he? Because he's obviously very much left-footed, but he just doesn't like that hitting the line, does he, at all? Where I think that's why Penny came on against Cambridge. Because although I think Thompson was okay against Cambridge, he never has. He always, when he gets to a certain point, he always has to check. He always checks inside, does he? He never tries to push the ball down the line and whip the ball in, which Penny does, and sometimes reasonably successfully. But again, whether Penny's up to being our first choice wing back, I don't see it really.
Yeah.
Really ideal combination of two, really.
Yeah. Kurt says
definitely.
Parkinson is a good
Love him.
destroyer. Yeah, he is, isn't
Definitely.
he?
Like him. Need a player like
Bit
that.
says the ribs are actually £8.99.
Nice.
So just going up to this one. Has anyone ever said this before, Dave? Nick Muller's looking forward to Crewe.
I don't know, Rick. I think you need to elaborate on that, Nick. What is? Well, it's obviously last away game. I assume, is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, last away game. I assume that's what he's getting at.
He
there.
says the worst game of the season was Charlton away. That's the only time I've seen us lose this season, Dave.
What?
Charlton away.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I've done double figures, but
yeah, it was
even under
horrible,
Paul Cook, we
wasn't
were
it?
always decent when I watched.
That was the Janoy Donasian left back experiment,
Yeah,
wasn't
it was
it?
just
didn't work at all. Oh, we were awful that night, weren't we? Oh my goodness me! But then, was it the Saturday before, the Saturday after? Did we not directly go the Saturday after that midweek and get a point at Wigan? Was it the Saturday after?
Yeah.
Was that? Yeah, I think we did.
Yeah, Norwood's
Yeah, Norwood, the sub. Yeah. So
yeah,
no, that was a pretty low point, wasn't it? Oh, yeah, horrible. And no, not good. I was going to say it was on Sky, but no, obviously I think I watched it on obviously on iFollow. Yeah, no, terrible.
And Michael Warner, will Town try and move Harper on or keep and improve? I think we'll keep hold of him and try.
I think so. I think there's
we've seen enough from him, haven't we?
I think there's a player there. He's like a more. I mean, he's a one. That Morsi role. You think a player like him, but young, isn't he? We said this the other day. Where I think he's like 20, 21, is he? Something like that. 22, incredibly young still. So probably needs to mature a bit. But you see him in bits, and he's got all the attributes for me, he's got all the attributes, hasn't he? Especially at that level, for goodness sake. So again, someone you'd think comes back from Crewe. I'm not sure how successful that's been, although I saw he did start on Saturday. I think, I looked. He actually played 90 minutes Saturday. That might even be a first since he's been there, for goodness sake. Even I can't even remember playing 90 minutes for us. Can you? I think fitness was always a issue with him right from the off at Ipswich. So you'd think someone like him, come back again, full pre-season under McKenna and Purton. Yeah, let's see what you get, because there's certainly again big potential there. And again, you've got people like Edwards to come back, for goodness sake. Lee Evans. I mean, this squad is there.
The squad's there. Always has been.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what Nick Muller is looking forward to at Crewe, Dave. It's watching Raheem Harper, because surely we'll let him play against us now.
Oh, I see. Oh, that's a good. Well, you'd think so. Yeah, totally dead. I mean, Crewe are down, aren't they? I think they're relegated, aren't they? So, if there ever was a definition of a dead rubber, that is it. So, I wouldn't be surprised.
Harper, bless him, how old is he? 21. He's already got 2 relegations on his CV. So he doesn't want to turn into. Although Herman Hreiderson had a lot of relegations on his CV, and he was awesome.
I'm sorry, if Raheem Harper comes back to Ipswich and performs as well as Herman Hreiderson, we'll all be happy, won't we?
We will
be.
Absolutely.
What a player.
Absolutely. Kirk says Backinson to just patrol in front of the defence, allowing Morsi to push forward. Was a great combo.
Agree.
It's been really good to watch those 2 flourish, hasn't it?
And he can play. Backinson can play. He can.
He
can. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
Speaking of rangy midfielders, are we after a Matt Crooks type, adding some height and physicality to the side for set pieces? That is something that we've really been lacking, isn't it, Dave?
Yeah, again, players like him, what a signing, my goodness me, what a signing he would have been. Holy moly. Yeah, fantastic player. And, saw him the other week scoring a couple for Borough the other week, just powers in, doesn't he? Makes those runs as he did against us.
He's a proper goal scorer midfielder,
yeah,
sort of
like
in the mould of
physical,
Tommy Miller.
big. Yeah. Oh, well, I'm not quite mentioning the same breath as Tommy Miller, but he's he's a player. Yeah.
Simon says, can we buy anyone that can take corners and not hit the first man or keeper's hands?
Yeah, someone said we should get Martin Waghorn back just for his corners. Personally, I never saw him take a decent one, but
oh God.
Sorry, let me preface that. That first half against Norwich, all his corners were rubbish. Yes, he did take a good one for Chambers. I admit that now.
And we're all we're missing now from the Dave Diamond bingo card is cricket chat and the landline going off at this stage.
Cricket chat, landline going off, corner hitting the first defender. I mean, it was. Well, how good would he be at this level? For goodness' sake, crikey!
Yeah, what a signing. Stuart Firmston, such a shame we didn't sign Matese, who went to Sunderland in January. He would have been really good cover for Morsi. He would have done. They really battled that game against Fleetwood.
He's the only one I've seen. I think he probably. No, he didn't come out ahead, but
he won
times
some battles,
in that game,
and I
got the drop on Morsi. And there hasn't been many. He was just fantastic that day. I must admit, I haven't been following him at Sunderland to see if he's been playing regularly or what's happened to him since he's been at Sunderland. I mean, I'd assume he's been playing fairly regularly, but I haven't really noticed. I'll check that actually.
Yeah.
But he also said he's the one player in that game, especially the first half. Second half, I think Morsi got the upper hand, if I remember that game. But first half, he was just superb, absolutely superb. But not big physically, but could take a tackle. Good,
always took the ball on his back foot, didn't he? He was always in the right place at the right time. The ball just always seemed to land at his feet.
Yeah,
they
quick.
They were decent that day.
They were.
This one's a no-brainer. I think this has come a few times. Got to keep a lookout for another year. I think we're all looking forward to just hearing that one.
I think so, Mike. And I think, from what you understand, he's a really good influence around the club as well, isn't he? I think he's, a great influence on that, certainly on the younger players and on the, look at how experienced he's playing in the Prem, just on the squad in its entirety, really. Yeah. And he's one that surprised me. God, I mean, just love watching him play. When he's on it, it's just a dream, isn't he? His first touch is just an absolute joke. Yeah.
Yeah. I nearly mentioned the tweet there about the single bed and the Luco finding space, but I'm not gonna mention
Don't go
it.
there.
But I think that one did sum it up quite nicely.
Yeah.
A lot of love for Luco. Stuart
Agreed.
Frankston. Thompson is a decent left back, but not the answer as a wing back.
Yeah,
I think that's
totally.
probably fair.
Yeah.
Alex P228. What do you guys think of the Vyman link? I'm
A bit of
not
a
really
lazy
sure there's
Bristol
much in
City
that.
link, I think, isn't it?
Hmm.
Bit of a lazy Bristol City link. I mean, again, what a signing that would be, but yeah, unlikely. I'd thought he's had a hell of a season, hasn't he?
He has indeed. Oh, maybe it was your we've mocked accents a little bit, and yeah,
thanks very
Paul's
much.
come in from
The
Hook Van Holland. Keep up the good work. Love the streams. Thank you so much. €10.
Thanks.
That'll get you a few Pro V1s for next Tuesday, won't it, Dave?
Mate, I don't. You can't be using Pro V1s, but you have to take out. Can't be using Pro V1s around Purdis, Mikey. Come on, Swicks and Softfield perhaps, but not Pro V1s.
Eric Clacton, we're not going to go there. Did you enjoy the Masters, Dave? I think
No
you were just trying to wind
comment.
up.
I can't. I'd be slaughtered. Rich would have me off the air. I can't comment. Sorry.
Going back to Paul, do you expect transfer requests this summer? Might be a few around that didn't count on another season at League One. But then the players that we're most worried about losing are probably the ones that have only spent one season in League One with us, right?
I don't think so. I think it seems to be that everyone's just buying into it. Everyone's buying into, you'd think McKenna and what's happening there. Certainly the structure of the club and everything that goes along with that. So no, I would certainly, but I mean, who would you transfer the players you didn't want to, let's perhaps put the forwards to one side because we're not sure about bonds that are players, or without a contract anyway. But so who would we be speaking about? Someone like a Wolfenden, maybe someone like that. But then why? Hopefully not. But having said that, all it takes is obviously we understand that. Yeah, I mean exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, this question from Bits: if a bid comes in for Wolfie from a Championship club in the summer, £3 million, sell or keep. I think Joe's answered this one already and just sort of said, what do we benefit from that £3 million?
What does it get you?
But then player trading is kind of the model.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Who knows? Championship club. It depends who it is. Is there a trade to be done within that deal? I mean, he's been magnificent, hasn't he? I love watching it. I love watching him. He's just absolutely grown game on game. Yeah, I think pretty much the only mistake I can remember him making was perhaps Cambridge when he should have got rid and tried to be a bit clever there and got done for the free kick. But he's just been superb, just bringing the ball forward. I mean, he did it against Saturday, didn't he? Absolutely brilliantly, just glides through. He is growing as a certainly at that level, and yeah, he's good enough to play in the Championship. You can just see he's good enough to play in the Championship. You would hope that we can at least have him have him another season. Hopefully, he gets a move up to the Championship with us.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Fantastic, just mind-boggling, really, absolutely mind-boggling that the season. When you look at the seasons that him and Danassian have had, he hasn't had a season. He's had half a season virtually. Just incredible that they were virtually gone.
Indeed, I think Bits likes the answer, or he might be reacting to something else. Kirk very kindly has sent us £10.
Mate,
doing all right.
God,
maybe we can afford to lose a few Pro V1s, Dave.
I think we can. I think I'll buy. How much is that? Is that about 29 quid in all? That might buy us a box, actually. I'll split half a dozen with you. That's fine.
Can we just say none of this money goes towards me and Dave's goal?
Sorry, that
doesn't go to anything.
Sorry, guys.
Like that.
Sorry. Rich, I apologise now, Rich. Sorry.
Wolfenden, one of the clearest examples of a player being transformed and improved by a decent coach, is fantastic, isn't it?
I mean, that'll be funny. A coach like that must come into the club, see a player like that, and must be absolutely rubbing his hands at what he's got. A player that you'd have thought he'd have known something about, that was struggling in the 23s. In some games, not even getting on the bench, for goodness sake. A coach like McKenna must come in and look at a player like that and say, "Oh my God, what have we got here? What have we got to work with here?" And you can just see the benefit of it. Incredible transformation. But we all know he was a decent player.
Yeah.
He's physically stronger as well.
Yeah, looks it, doesn't he? Charlie D, new shirt sponsor next season. Who do we want? Who do we
When you
not
say
want?
sponsor, does he mean manufacturer or?
Well, it's definitely manufacturer. So let's answer that one
No,
first.
no.
You want
Surely
a Fred Perry kit, don't you?
Oh yeah, Fred Perry or Castori. Obviously Castori we want. Yeah, Fred Perry or
Yeah.
Castori definitely. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Imagine a Fred Perry kit. Oh my word, how cool would that be?
Well, Luke Clothing briefly made some shirts, and they made a really nice Aston Villa kit the year they got promoted from the Championship. But then they've moved back to just making like the leisure wear, which is
I mean, I remember
strange one.
Villa very. I mean, that's another manufacturer. I know that Joe's mentioned before. It's quite Hummel make lovely kit, don't they? I remember the old Danish kits, and Villa played Hummel. I think them up the road might have played in Hummel as well at one point in time. I seem to remember. But yeah, we don't worry about that. But yeah, that would be a nice kit. Yeah, it'd be interesting. I mean, maybe even a move back to, I don't know, Umbro. Someone said Admiral. That'd be awesome, wouldn't it? Big old
Glenn
collars.
Hoddle.
Oh, don't. No, Glenn Hoddle in his pomp was Admiral, but the Spurs of like the early 80s was the.
I think we might have lost Dave Diamond. This hasn't happened in a few years. I'll try and carry on without him. Are you there, Dave?
Yeah, I'm there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what happened there.
You froze briefly.
Oh, okay.
It was like the good old days on Skype. That was. Here's one. You mentioned that lot up the road, Dave.
Yeah.
Will we take Pookie if Norwich can give a contract? Of course we would, but he's going to be in demand. He's sort of like
I think that's kind of unlikely, and I think it probably costs more than 4.5 million. Probably.
I think he
Yeah.
probably will. Bits cut my £20 back. Not a goal fan.
that was totally a joke. Just
Yeah,
it was only Richard Keys. It was only banter.
It was just banter.
Yeah.
Nick Muller, fish and chip shopping crew is great. Now we've got to the
now
reason,
we know
and
Nick.
we completely understand now.
I think I might come up myself just for that.
James Elmy, a Fred Perry kit would be awesome. It would. Let's start a petition, Dave. It might be slightly too late, but
can you imagine? Oh my word!
Maybe
let's get it going.
Like an all white, a completely white away kit.
Massive, great laurel on the front. Massive, huge one. There, right there. God damn. I'm sure Red would go for that. Although someone said that he wouldn't be surprised if we had what's Ed Sheeran's, is it Hoax? No, what's Ed Sheeran's brand?
Hoax. The skateboarding brand. Yeah, that's got quite a nice logo, that as well.
No, it has. Yeah. If we didn't end up something like that,
it'd have to be quite baggy though, wouldn't it?
Oh god, yeah, that wouldn't work. That wouldn't work at all. That wouldn't work at all. No, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Yeah, I know some of our well, most of you youngsters on the pod are very keen on the kits. I mean, me of a certain vintage, I'm not, fine. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what comes out. All that new stuff's far too tight.
So, Dave, I've got some good news. We're going to have a box of Titleist Pro V1s each, and we're also going to have a 3-course meal before we start, thanks to David Bergin. €50. Thank you, mate. So much.
David, that is insane.
We really
Thanks
don't
very much.
We do it for the love of chatting about Ipswich Town, but it makes a huge difference. I'm going to upgrade this headset at some point, and we have to pay for the software, and maybe we can upgrade a few things.
That makes it all. That does it worthwhile. You're right. We don't do it for that, but no, that's really superb, and really grateful for your support, David.
Humbling stuff. Bit says super stickers for drink. Yeah, that would be good. Maybe an end of season do of some sort. Where, of course, you'll all be welcome to join us. So yeah, just on the on the chippy, there's a bit of chippy chat there.
I think we need to know what
that's the wrong one there. Two-tone kit.
Stop it now. Stop it. That would be the ultimate, wouldn't it? The two-tone cool. Yeah, I think Rich has got one of those, hasn't he? I don't think he's taken it out of the bag. Yeah, Julian, I'm all for that. What a shirt that was.
Brilliant. And David Bergen says, you deserve it, guys. Thank you so much, Kirk. Seriously, you deserve every pound. The time you give an expertise, research is second to none. And I'm going to go right up to, I saw a really good question on the Rotherham game, Dave, that's going to make sure that we finish on a nice high note.
Go on.
You talk about where you're going to be watching the game on Saturday, Dave, and what you're expecting from it.
No, I'm going to be watching it here. I wouldn't be surprised if Elton Baggett starts, and I think most supporters would welcome that. I don't see many changes to the team other than that. Again, you would think maybe he'll rotate the front players perhaps, but yeah, I don't know.
It's going to be a tough first assignment for Baggett if he is starting at Rotherham.
Yeah, that might be perhaps
big
again. I mean, they're all but the
next
next 2 games, but they might. You're right. They might perhaps he'll be bench, and they might well start him at home against at home against Wigan. But it'll be a tough one, Rotherham are going to be so up for it. I think we need to ask Alex what handicap.
Alex Corbett.
Yeah, what handicap.
Hopefully, whatever handicap he was off, he's not on anymore. He said he got 45 points.
Did he go into the clubhouse wearing a Stetson? I think we need to establish.
So just for those that aren't familiar with 45 points, he's essentially shot 9 under par. Off
9 under his par according to his handicap, we should say.
Yeah. I can't find this. Oh, here we are. Found it, Dave. Tasty. So we can finish on a cheery note. 3 wins out of 34 on Sky. What's the betting on an OG, a penalty, and a sending off? Do you think maybe an Elkan Baggett sending off? And
nailed on. Or an Elkan Baggett, surely I'm sorry, I really am tempting fate. Surely if Norwood starts, he'd do a sending off, isn't he? Surely he is. But that is staggering. I knew it was bad. Is that right?
Yeah, we haven't had many in League One, to be fair.
Wow.
3 and 34.
There can't be. Yeah, okay. I mean, there can't be any other team in the Football League with a worse record than that, is there? There can't be. Can't, surely. That is insane. Absolutely insane.
So, yeah, if you're not going to Rotherham, tune in on Sky on Saturday. And yeah, Rich will be back with the pre-match show. If you've enjoyed tonight, please drop us a like on YouTube. It all helps, and we'll make sure that on our Twitter page, if you want to join us on the Leveler or the Telegram, whatever you want to call it, you'll know exactly what to do. Because I did see a question in the comments there. I think Bits thought he'd been kicked out, but that's not the case. Yeah, maybe that's what he thought he was paying for tonight when he chucked his donation. But yeah, thank you very much for all of the money you've chucked our way as well. And yeah, have a very enjoyable Easter weekend. Any last words, Dave?
No, absolutely. Echoed that. Thanks for all your support. It's very much generosity, really much appreciated. And look, let's hope we can go to Rotherham at least. I don't roll over. Compete and get a result and get a result and a good performance, because at least there's something on the game. They are desperate for a win, so yeah, looking forward to that.
Just Upper Town.